to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
What the hell is going on, everyone? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It is officially that time of the year where you can justify the most absolute ridiculous decisions by saying, fuck it, it's Christmas. And so you should. I hope you guys are. Hope you're all enjoying your holidays. We have a weird show today, okay? It's getting extra weird, extra weird. So I hope you've all brought your tinfoil hats along with your eggnog and your coffees and your beers, your whiskeys, whatever is your joy, your choice of festive drink. You're going to need it today because we are getting into another, and this is interesting because it's another military whistleblower who has been on the scene for a long time, but has suddenly decided to sort of reveal their identity and kind of come out even more. Just like Jeremy Weeks did on Area 52 the other day, which is interesting, right? All of these whistleblowers, who all seem to be bald, by the way. What is with that? Why are all these spooky dudes bald, first of all? And why have they all decided now is a good time to come out? Is something happening? Is something coming up soon that that they're trying to warn us about? Or have they decided it's time to ramp up the psyop? I don't know. I think it's a valid question though, and that's what we're going to try and answer today. Observer, thank you for the $5. Aaron Clark, my man, says Polarity Nightcap, love it. Thank you very much, brother. And Sticks and Stones, you little freak, thank you for becoming a member. So, guys, it'll probably be a longish show today. We'll get straight into it, but I will say it's good to, even if this is PSYOP 101, or maybe there's some truth to it, it feels good to just get away from the icky show yesterday, right? Like I said yesterday, I don't really like talking about that kind of shit, to be honest, because it makes me feel uncomfortable. But having a platform and feeling like I can kind of see something that is going on and it feels real to me, and not telling you feels like I'm being dishonest, and that also makes me feel uncomfortable. So I felt like my hands were tied there with being uncomfortable, but I think that is the best way to go about it, is to just speak our own truth. And I'm glad we got it out the way. Now we can resume regular, strange, weird, freak programming, as I'm sure we're all happy to hear. Shigley gifted a membership, and so did Rambro. You guys are legends, guys. Let's get some love in the chat. Shigley, Rambro, the new weirdos, and for Christmas. Please, it's Christmas, baby. Come on, get some love in the chat. Thank you. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's jump over here first, because I want to give you guys some context, right? Now, some of you may have seen this JP whistleblower who came out on Redacted just yesterday. This stuff's kind of coming out right now. But JP has been speaking kind of specifically with Dr. Michael Salla, who is an Australian living in America, I believe, who basically studied like global politics. Okay, Michael Salla studied global politics. I believe he got his PhD in that field. And this is like back in 2005, right? This guy's been around for a long time. And through his study, through his academic work, he came to the understanding and kind of theory of exopolitics, which is the idea that there is a non-human intelligence here that is sort of manipulating and kind of running the political structure, at least in the West, and probably over the whole world, right? That's his theory. Now, I've come to sort of similar conclusions myself, but I don't have a PhD, so maybe listen to this man instead. But he has been listening to a man named JP, okay? And by the way, like I just said, Michael Salla has been saying this since like 2005, 2008. Okay, this guy's been around for a while. So this isn't new. This isn't a new theory. But this is JP, who you can see here on the right. Now, he's been on Michael Salla's channel talking about all the things that he speaks about today that we're going to look at. But obviously, he never revealed his name. He didn't reveal his face, just like Jeremy Weeks, right? He's been around. These people have been on the fringes of this thing without really revealing anything, but just, maybe planting seeds. Who knows? We'll talk about that in a minute. But I've seen a little bit of what he's spoken about back when he was wearing the Master Chief helmet. And, I won't even interview anyone who's not going to show their face on my channel. And no hate to anyone who does, right? But what I'm saying that because I just struggle to take anyone sort of seriously, especially when you're wearing a Master Chief helmet. Now, it's good entertainment. Don't get me wrong. Wearing a Master Chief, hearing someone talk about aliens and space missions in a Master Chief helmet is fantastic content to just chuck on and relax and go to sleep to. Okay, I think we can all agree with that. But if I'm going to start considering is what he's saying relevant to the actual state of the world right now, I struggle with that. And that's not because of anything to do with him. It's because I can't see your face. And that's it. That's literally it. I can't see a face. I can't establish a connection with the words that you're saying. So I feel like I owe it to myself and my own sanity and my own mental health to just kind of like reserve that little bit of space between us, right? So you know what? Let's just have we'll have a quick little listen just for like a minute so you guys can see. This video is from 11 months ago. And by the way, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on him either because I'm not. I'm just sort of saying that I've always reserved judgment with this guy purely because he's wearing a Master Chief helmet. Okay. Like I just can't. But I'm still interested though. I'm interested, but I can't go all in. I just can't. Anyway, the video is called Cigar-Shaped Spacecraft to be Unveiled in Earth Alliance Disclosure Plan. And this was posted on January the 2nd, so almost a year ago now. We'll just listen for a couple of minutes.
All over the United States and around the world so people could see it. What would people see? Would they kind of see like a smooth mirror-like ship up there or a like dark gray?
Similar to the picture I took that the Tampa Bay Times shared.
So would they see like a dark gray type of ship up there floating?
They will see that, and people are going to get pictures, a lot of videos and pictures of these craft, and I think this is going to be the beginning also, of other governments being scared.
I see. So this craft, just to be clear, it's not an extraterrestrial craft. It belongs to the secret space program.
I'm going to say not. It's a international type of thing. It's not just us, so, and it's there's technology there that it does come from extraterrestrials. Yes.
So there you go. We'll get into more of what he has to say, but I just wanted to show that this guy's been saying this story for a long time with Michael Seller. And, I see a few people in the comments saying, are you getting into the wild secret space program stuff now? Or like, can't believe you're watching this guy. This is something that I think people often like just kind of make this assumption, or I don't know, they trip up on my channel quite often with this. They think because I'm watching something or we're talking about something that I wholeheartedly like believe in it and I'm like promoting it. That you just maybe don't understand what this channel is. We talk about things here. We talk about the weird things because they're interesting. And sometimes they're interesting because we're wondering, is this a fucking psyop? Okay. We want to know, like, is this real or not? And when we're, if we don't have a platform or a community to actually discuss things and hear other people's opinions and kind of gauge a general consensus of how we feel, we're all just kind of left to our own devices, sitting there alone, watching this stuff going, am I going crazy? Or is Master Chief telling me that we are in a secret space program? Okay. You need someone to kind of like share this with and be like, what the actual hell is going on here? Okay. And that is what we're doing. Now, again, I'm not saying I believe him or I disbelieve him, but that's what this is about. It's about having discussion. The same with the James thing, right? Because I was, interested in it and investigating it. People think that I was wholeheartedly believing it. Some people even thought I am James or I was James, which is interesting. Might be true. Constantina with a $10 sticker saying thank you. Thank you very much. You're a sweetheart. I appreciate you. And Namika Nico, welcome back. Thank you for becoming a member, you little freak. All right.
JP, thank you so much for doing this.
Let's get into the show. So this was on Redacted with Clayton Morris. And the full episode is linked below. And this is only part 1, by the way. So it's about 40. Oh, no, it's actually just under an hour, just over an hour. Okay, big show. Part 2, I believe, is already out. All right, so here we go. We'll get into it and stop off along the way.
Appreciate it, Clayton.
I know this was a lot for you.
So by the way, face reveal. So if you don't know who this guy is, face reveal. He did face reveal publicly, but there you go. But he's going to release his name for the first time.
There's a lot that goes into an interview like this. So I want to thank you. A lot of people maybe don't understand behind the scenes how difficult it is for somebody who is trying to come out and share the story to be brave enough to do it. So thank you for that. I appreciate it,
Clayton, for having me here.
So we call you JP. So I guess for the first time, national television on a national show, you're going to reveal your name for the first time. You've been in the shadows for a couple of decades now, really.
Yeah.
And you've been involved in a lot of these special programs for many, many years, coming out and sharing your name for the first time. So can you share with our audience your full name for the first time?
My name is Jorge Pabon.
Jorge Pabon. And let's maybe just get the official stuff out of the way. Talk about your rank, when you left the military, what you were doing in the military. And we have some documents that you've shared with us. We have certain parts redacted, but we will share those here so people can know what your service was.
Retired U.S. Army Air Trooper. Is this like a paratrooper? Is that like, I didn't even think we did that anymore. What's an air trooper?
Was to the United States.
I was a 91 Juliet. That's a quartermaster of chemical repairs. I deal with
in the Army?
In the Army.
In the Army. Okay.
I also do translation. They use me as a translator as well.
Okay.
To translate different languages I can pick up.
How many languages do you have? Do you know?
I know three languages. Spanish, Portuguese.
Fala português?
Falo português.
Sim.
Falo português.
Okay.
Para todo Brasil. Oi, tudo bem? E Portugal.
Eu gosto arroz de pato.
Arroz de pato.
Sorry, that was duck rice, one of my favorites
Duck
in Portuguese. So a number of languages as a translator, and
understand a couple other languages as well.
So you were an air. You were also an air trooper, is that right?
A paratrooper. Paratrooper, and I was in the World Special Forces unit.
So you were stationed with the 7th Group Special Forces unit. You were not attached. You were attached to the Special Forces.
Yeah.
Okay. Just so everyone's clear about that.
Yeah, everybody, to be clear.
Okay.
I'm not a Green Beret.
Okay.
I'm a Red Beret.
So what is that? A Red Beret. And here's a photo. We'll share some.
Oh, there he is. I mean, look, I don't know shit about the military, but he looks like moderately important. That the baggy hat, the decorated jacket, he looks, doesn't just look like a grunt, you know what I mean? But again, I don't know shit.
Photos of you wearing the Red Beret, and what rank were you?
I was E4.
E4, okay.
It's lower rank. It's a E4.
Yeah, I've never heard of Red Beret, by the way. I've heard of green. I've heard of blue. I've heard of black. I've never heard of a Red Beret.
Close to a corporal. It's in between a corporal and an E4.
You know, it's interesting you say that, and I want to talk more about your official capacity in a second, but I've heard others who've been involved in the things that you've been involved with and seen the things that you've seen. They're typically a lower rank.
Is that volume okay, guys?
The individuals I've spoken to, whistleblowers I've spoken to, we're not talking to generals necessarily. They typically are lower rank, and they remain a lower rank for a longer time. Do you have any insight into that?
We are told what to do. People that are higher ranks, they sometimes go to the missions, but their job is to lead, and they have to stay secure, a secure facility. So the people that are lower enlisted, they go out to do the missions. So I don't know if you're familiar with that documentary that just came out called Age of Disclosure.
Age of Disclosure. Yes, I am.
It's a lot of higher ranks there, and they're in that. I mean, I'm not trying to push it, but
right.
But
they're higher rank, and because you're lower, you were doing the grunt work. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, where we're doing the grunt work. When I say we, it's not only me. It's more soldiers like me.
How many would you say, in your experience, in your group, that have also had this experience?
nationwide and worldwide, hundreds of thousands
that have seen what you've seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've really ever heard a number associated with it.
Yeah.
And do you know of any other individuals that have come forward from your group? Like your...
I do. I'm connected with a couple of soldiers, but as you know, they're scared to come out and talk about this.
Why are they scared?
It goes beyond.
Getting like a weird little lag. I actually think it's because I have too many windows open. Give me a second, guys. Let me close a couple of these because I feel like it's ruining your viewing experience. And we don't want to do that. I always want to make sure you guys have a premium viewing experience. And if I didn't have 7,000 tabs open, like your grandma who has no idea how to use a laptop and is frustrated that her computer is running slowly, and then you realize she has 7,000 tabs open since 2021, it would speed up, and hopefully the stream will too.
It connects to the spiritual and the interdimensional realm of things. Clayton, it goes way beyond. I can't really talk about it because of national security.
Okay.
And because I love this country a lot. And this is the best country in the world for me. You know, I got the opportunity to join the military. And I always tell people in my channel to join the military. It changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, it taught me a lot. I joined when I was 34, so I was already older. I got pushed to join the military. And when I got pushed, I experienced these missions.
So I know a little bit about your story, but I wanted you to really tell it today, and I want you to kind of go through it all. But before we get there, so in official capacity, you shared with us your discharge documents, and this is redacted, so we can put this up here on the screen as well.
This is his DD-214. This is like what we saw from Kyle Odom. In the Kyle Odom manifesto, they got the same document.
What does this show us here?
The DD-214 shows you what I did in service and where I was stationed and all that.
Okay. And you left in...
People say like these are meant to be like the most like legit, official, credible documents to prove that someone is who they say they are, or that they served the time that they did in the military, which is probably true. But again, and I'm not saying this, but like with like AI and stuff, like how far can AI go? Like, can people fake these things? Or like if this actually is a legitimate psyop to create a threat narrative around aliens, I mean, can we even trust the document itself? I mean, this is so tinfoil hat. Like at this point, you essentially lose your mind because you think you can't trust anything. But like, I don't know, kind of is on the table.
When did you leave?
August of 30th of last year.
So you left the military August of 30th of last year. Mm-hmm. Did you have to sign any non-disclosure agreements, anything like that when you left?
I have to sign certain things that I can't still talk about.
Okay.
But I got the green light to talk about certain things. And who's giving me the green light, I can't really talk about who's giving me the green light. Oh, I know he's connected to Washington.
So he's been allowed to come forward.
Which is interesting to me. I don't want to dwell too much on that, but in the times that you and I have spoken over the past few months or through an intermediary that we've been speaking with, I've heard that you've gotten the green light. So there are people in Washington, there are people in the military who want this out there, who want disclosure. Would you say that's accurate?
People want disclosure. That's why people are pushing, showing more of these amazing videos that are coming out. Mm-hmm. Proof of officers talking and experiencing these. But I think it's going to be in phases, Clayton. Soon, soldiers like me, we're going to come out and probably do a documentary about what we felt and what we went through. You know, I chose to join the military. They approached me, hey, you want to join? You know, you've been through a lot, so we'll take care of you. You join. So I joined, and they did take care of me. I love the military. I never talk negative about the Army.
Yeah.
It's the best place that I ever. And you know, some people might hear this and say, "Oh, you know, he's pushing, you know, the army and all that," but it's just for me, what I experienced. It was the best thing ever in my life.
Let's go back then to
Okay, so he's pro the Age of Disclosure documentary, and he's pro military.
when they approached you, because I find this fascinating. So you had just moved to Orlando, Florida, and you were not involved in the military at all at that point.
I was not involved with the military. I was working actually for a pool company.
So you were cleaning pools.
I was cleaning pools. And I dealt with music too, because I go to church, you know, and my wife, she sings. So I'm sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit. It's just,
and there's tissues right there.
things change in life for the better, you know. So when I joined the military, it changed the way I lived.
With your family and everything.
My family and everything.
Yeah.
So
in all of this, JP, I mean, your family must have been incredible. A rock for you, right?
Oh yeah, my family have been supportive. My father, my mom, my beautiful wife. I've been married 18 years, Clayton.
18 years, wow.
18 years, and it's tough. It's been tough on her, you know.
But she stood by you in all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stood by me. She's she's my spiritual. She prays for me a lot. So,
is she aware of a lot of the stuff that's happened?
She's aware. Yeah, she's aware. But we don't really talk about it at home.
Yeah. Try to keep it separate.
Yeah.
Kids live a normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have the kids live. I don't know after this show, but you know, it's the truth has to get out there, Clayton.
Yeah. Have your kids ever seen anything?
Yeah, they talk about me on stage, and my little one says in school, my father talks about aliens. I'm like, no.
All right, we've got a poll going up. Just want to suss the early vibes here. Current vibe on JP, sus, telling truth, or you're still listening?
Has your wife ever seen anything? We've had these experiences.
I'll share a video that we've seen together of a cigar-shaped ship that she spotted first. Another video going to UK. She was on the side of the window. I got that video as well. And we saw a UFO following the plane, and it changed colors and it turned into wings. And we both started crying.
Wow.
It's like, wow, they're protecting us, you know. We're flying to UK for a conference. And then that same conference, these ETs came back and thousands of people saw these ships. And it was all over Eastbourne.
You were cleaning pools. I mean, I hate to ask this, but were you like in the middle of cleaning a pool and suddenly the military shows up and says, Jorge,
I lost my job.
You had just lost your job.
I think Clayton asked some really good questions in this. I think it's clear that he is somewhat skeptical, but I think he gives JP like a really good platform to just sort of comfortably and openly tell his story either way. And I think Clayton asked some really good specific questions that kind of force JP to kind of like retell some of these wild claims as if he was in the moment telling it as it happened. And I think that's always really important for people who want to like gauge someone's credibility, is to see how they can retell the story and how clear and concise it is. And I think Clayton does a really good job of that throughout this whole interview. I'm just going to close off this poll for now. Early vibes on JP. The audience believes that he is... Okay, it's not showing me yet. It's not showing me yet. But it was something like 44%, 45% of the people believe that he is... 45% of the people still listening, and like 44% were calling him sus, and about 12% said they're all in and it's truth. Sorry, I found it now. Oh yeah, those numbers were pretty much accurate. Let's keep going.
I shared a picture with Dr. Sala with TR3B.
What is a TR3B?
It's a anti-gravitational type of ship that we know of.
Right.
I'm not gonna say where it's from or who's operating it, but we know of these TR3Bs. They're triangular ships, and I took a picture and I shared it with Dr. Michael E. Sala.
A friend of the show, Michael Sala, has been on many times. Yeah.
I shared it with him, and after that, I just lost my job.
So, sorry. Okay, we're going to show the photos here. This is a triangular shaped UAP, UFO. I hate the term UAP with a passion.
Yeah, UFO.
I think it's like, anyway, UFO. When did you take this photo? So this was before you ever joined the military?
This is before. I took multiple pictures of UFOs.
Where did this happen and how did this happen?
This happened in Tampa. This happened in Orlando. In Tampa, I was taking.
I mean, that looks kind of weird, right? It's always so hard to gauge a picture when you have no reference point around it. Okay, like you can't compare lighting, size, anything because there's just a plain blue background of a sky. But looking at the actual craft itself, it does look odd. But I do think it is important to say that, if we are talking about a alien technology, it's probably not going to look human. And I think that is an important point to note. But I do think this does look weird.
Pictures of cigar-shaped UFOs and UFOs interacting with helicopters. I got these pictures I could show you as well.
So you were just were you like cleaning pools at the time, or you just like?
I was working. I also installed cameras for certain companies.
Okay.
So, I was just making money. Life, you have to move around to make money.
Blue collar, hardworking.
Yeah.
Just making money for your family.
Making money for the family. And on top of that, working in studios, doing music.
Okay.
I love music. I play piano, guitar, drums, whatever you give me, I could play.
Wow. And
you use the same part of your brain for languages. So if you're good musicians, you could pick up in different types of languages. So,
I reckon Pitbull would have been a good whistleblower. Based on this guy and all the other ones, I think Pitbull could be the next musician to come forward and blow the whistle.
It's kind of cool for me. When I joined the military, they asked me about translating. They asked me about, because once you join the military, it's not just one job. It's not just one MOS. It's more than one jobs.
Yeah.
As you can see in my DD-214, I did more jobs than usual.
Yeah, you had a lot on there.
I was stationed in the Special Forces unit. So you have to keep up with these guys, these Green Berets. They're really good. They're the top of the top. So they do things that I don't even know. So
you were doing these different jobs, and then when did you see these triangular shaped craft?
So cars used to approach me, like white pickup or a white van, and a guy in uniform, in tactical uniform, says, "Hey, in this time, just look up and make sure you take a picture." I'm like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
He just would drive by you?
Drive by me, and hey, this time, and I consider those people the white hats. They want this information out. And I took pictures, and then the Tampa Bay Times, they start talking about Dr. Michael E. Sala and my picture, and they talk about MacDill Air Force Base. I'm like, oh man, they're talking about me in coast to coast and all this. And I'm like, Doc, what am I gonna do? And he says, don't worry, you're anonymous. Nobody knows your name. Nobody knows who you are. So they always told me, don't give your name out. Just give this information. Doc was the only one that knew my name and knew my family. And I shared my information with Doc. He's been documenting. I call him the librarian of disclosure.
He is. I mean, he's written so many books, and your name, JP, appears in his books many, many years. So you were a guy. I can't believe it. I can believe it because I've heard this now from multiple people. But you just get a white hat, just drives by, and just says to you, does he yell out your name? Does he know who you are?
They approached me and says, "Hey, this doesn't say my name." they approach you, and this happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, I've heard it multiple times. You're not the only one.
They approach you and they say, hey, this time, this hour, we're going to see a ship. So start taking pictures with your phone. And those times, there's no AI. These pictures are, you can put them in tests or whatever you want to put them.
They're like from 2007.
Yeah,
right?
2008, 2007.
Okay. So the photos you're seeing here on the screen are old. These are this is even pre-iPhone, I believe, at the time, or right around.
Pre-Android.
Pre-Android and pre-iPhone, and right around that time. So you're just taking these photos. How many times did people approach you telling you to look up?
Dozens of times. Dozens of times.
Did you try to like stop them? Because for me, I could just picture me. If I'm just walking with my dog and somebody pulls up and says, hey, you, in an hour and a half, look up at the sky and take photos. I'm going to say, wait, who are you? Did you try to do that?
You got other people.
I really like the way Clayton brings like kind of balance to this interview, and also kind of like pulls the things that JP is saying like into reality. Like, when he says these wild things, Clayton is like, well, a normal person would be like, hey, who the fuck are you, random guy, pulling up, telling me to take photos of a spaceship? Like, do you know what I mean? I think he helps ground this interview really well. And that's honestly a big part of why I wanted to look at it, because I don't mean this in a bad way to Dr. Salah. I enjoy Dr. Salah. I would love to speak to him one day. But it does seem like he lacks those sort of like critical questions on his channel that I would want to ask. And I do think Clayton does a good job of that, which is why I was happy to look into it today. Toxic Fart says Dr. Salah wins the Caterpillar Eyebrows Award. Look, I wouldn't be far away. These bad boys are thickening up at an alarming rate. Kelly Hall says, Merry Christmas to all my weirdo friends. Thank you very much, Kelly. Merry Christmas to you too. Rain says, whistleblowers are ramping up, coming out of the woodwork, getting us ready for the 2027. Is it planned? I don't know, bro. I think, I mean, it feels like something is planned, whether something is actually happening or they're trying to create something to happen via weaponizing the power of our collective belief. I don't know, but it certainly feels like something is in the works. And Sweet Bee's Knees says, towards the Starlink Fund, also hands on the table in a calm manner is a sign of honesty and openness. He seems sensitive though, PTSD for sure. Thank you very much for the $10. And look, a lot of people are understandably saying this is bullshit, this guy's bullshitting. I think it's important to remember, because I think we perhaps forget how intrinsically linked MK Ultra, Monarch, whatever you want to call it, let's just call it brainwashing, mind control, mental manipulation of people in the military seems to be. So there is a chance that he could be speaking his truth and what he believes is true, but his brain has been absolutely rinsed, tumble dried, and rinsed again. And he's just saying how he remembers it, but that is, it is potentially not based in physical reality. Again, that's just something we should remember. Just because someone is saying something that sounds wild doesn't mean he's bullshitting. There are a lot of other things that could be at play here. And 420 Breezy says, eyebrows thickening, hairline thinning. Oh, my brother. Yep, you know it. You know it, sir. Thank you.
People picking me up and interrogating me.
What?
Yeah. So you got people saying stop, and you got people saying go.
At the same time? At
the same time. But I kept with the go. And it went on from there. So I got a collection of UFO pictures.
Were other people seeing these photos or craft at the time?
I'm sure other people were seeing these craft, and I'm sure they took pictures, but I don't know why they haven't registered them.
So you had people telling you go, take these pictures. Then you had other people pulling over. You're just walking along. You're a big guy. I mean, you can see on the, you're a big guy. So
Dan says, hello, I just got here. Have we made any bold jokes yet? Oh, Dan, come on. We are 34 minutes into the stream. You are 33 minutes late on the bold jokes. Yes, sir. Take a seat. Welcome. And Toxic Fart says, people in classified programs have the habit of encouraging people to take pictures. Do they? Do they really? I don't know. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
These guys are coming and they just stop you on the street and pull you aside and take you someplace to interrogate you?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Like 3 people get inside the truck, get inside the van. And I'm like,
are they armed?
yeah, sometimes they're armed with SIGs, and you know, they're wearing tactical gear. So you're like, okay, I'm done today. I'm done. Well, this happened to me a couple dozen times. When I posted the TR3B in Orlando, I got picked up saying, hey, you can't be posting stuff like that.
So you do you feel like that there were two separate forces at work?
Yeah,
the entire time.
Totally.
And you're still experiencing that because you have people who've said green light, and there are other people who don't want you talking.
Yeah.
Which is consistent with everything that I've heard. So you're posting these photos, you're sending them to Dr. Sala, the Tampa Bay Times, Tampa Bay Tribune or whatever is posting them or revealing this information. They never named you though, right? They just...
No, JP.
JP. So from that point, you're still not in the military.
No.
You're still cleaning pools, you're still doing music, you're still doing installing cameras, you're still doing all of these other things. When did that change? I'm not asking for a specific date, but like what was the impetus then? How did all that shift from the go and stop guys coming and bothering you?
When I joined the military.
How did that happen?
So they approached me, the good guys. Hey, you have to join. If you don't want the people to keep bothering you no more, you have to join.
So the guys that were telling you to take the photos, did you recognize them? Did they look the same? They're always different.
Yeah, it's always different. But it's like they knew me. It's so weird. It's like they look different, but it's like I felt like I had a relationship with them. So sometimes they come with masks.
What kind of masks?
It's like a ski mask. People will be scared.
Like something you see with ice guys right now.
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah.
Similar.
Like a baka, what do you call it? Balaclava or whatever over the face.
Yeah.
Do they have helmets on?
No helmets.
Tactical gear?
Tactical gear.
With like a SIG on their hip. Were they also armed, the good guys?
Yeah, they were also armed.
Were they kind of saying, hey...
They look like similar to what sheriffs wear when they're undercover.
Okay. Gotcha. Were you intimidated by the good guys?
Sometimes there's always one guy that was always serious and not talking, always just studying me and just looking up and down and always looking around and always looking over my shoulder and always and that had me always, you know. So the other two guys were always talkative and like, you know, like if they were agents or something like that.
Did they? And they told you?
Don't know what agency though. Don't know.
You never knew if they were they military? No. You don't know?
They're
God damn it, I forgot to turn the fan on. Be right back.
Their per sound is military. But I never knew like if they were strictly military or if it was a different agency that was hired, you know, to talk to me or to lower me into the military.
So then you joined the military.
I joined the military.
Was it a long thought process or no? Pretty instantaneous.
It was a long thought process because I go to church, and when I went to Brazil, I used to preach all over the place and all that, and I was really into church.
Yeah,
you know that's why these UFO things. And
you Catholic?
No, I'm Christian. Christian. These UFO things for the Christian community. Or for the religion community, sometimes they think is spirits, demons, angels, and I kind of lean towards that way as well.
There are people in Congress who will say to other members or disclosure and whistleblowers, et cetera, like, why don't even deal with this?
No.
Don't even deal with this because it's demonic, right? And so that kind of puts up a wall, and maybe it is. And maybe there are with the interdimensionality, and maybe there's things we don't understand, so we label it demons, right?
Yeah, in life I always say this: we have a yin and a yang. You know, there's always a good.
Yeah.
There's always a bad. I think there's good. Yeah. If you want to call them ETs out there.
People are spamming Polarity. How old are you in the chat? I'm 16. You perverts, leave me the fuck alone.
Or angels. We got good angels that can guide you to do the right things. And if you read the Bible, throughout history, angels have been guiding people for a long time.
Right.
And then you got demons. You have to be careful with demons.
Yeah.
And it's a lower vibration. And, you know, if you study about the Monroe Institute, the Gateway Projects and all that, you can study how these people have the ability to connect with the interdimensional realm and the spiritual realm. with outer body type of experience and all that. So the study is out there. The documents are out there that all these programs exist.
So it wasn't just jumping into the military like anybody else might and decide to join the military. It was you realizing that there are ETs or there's craft that you're taking photos of. There's guys that show up at your house or they show up and ask you to join the military. This is a different experience than most people go through. So you wrestled with it for a little while and then you ultimately...
I was trying to walk away every time, Clayton. I was trying to walk away, but out of nowhere, I see these ships. So
I have noticed it in this interview, and this could be nothing, could be reading into it a little bit too much here. But JP says Clayton a lot when he's speaking. And this is like a pretty like 101 tactic in making people like believe you more, making you be more likable to someone else, is to use their name a lot. This is like, you know, sales 101 in a way. Again, maybe that's just the way he is, right? Maybe some people like to use people's names a lot. But it also is like a well-known tactic to build rapport with people.
sometimes I go outside and pray, and these ships showed up. These ships show up. I'm like, what am I doing different? What type of praying or meditating or state of mind I get into that these things come down? So every conference that I do, these ships, they come down, and I have proof. I can show you the videos. We show it to Redacted, and these ships, they show up. I did one in the UK. I did one in France. I did one in Charlotte, even here in Colorado. And we call down these ships. Sometimes they use people like us, you know,
right,
in the military, including implementing the dog whistle type of technology that have psionic abilities that can bring down these ships. And, you know,
I get sent videos like this all the time, by the way. Videos of just like an interesting looking light on a pitch black background. And, you know, again, it's just so hard to, like, it is interesting and it could be something, but when you just have no reference point, it's so hard to like commit my belief 100%, even like 80%. It's hard because it's just like, at the end of the day, this is bright pixels on a next to dark pixels, and it could be a whole bunch of things. So interesting, but like it's just they're just not doing it for me anymore. You know, I need more than that.
I didn't realize I had something like that, an ability like that. But when they started approaching me to join the military, I'm like, okay, they need something from me. You know, they need help.
They need a way to communicate or translate.
These beings, yeah, right. They need to communicate with these beings.
Was it your sense that when you were seeing these craft coming that they were not man, they were not humans, that these were, did you have any idea that whether these were, U.S. military vehicles or these were ETs?
They were ETs. They were extraterrestrials. Well, we could say that they are from parts of our oceans. That's as far as I can go, Clayton.
Parts of our oceans. And this has been a long conversation, or the idea about...
I hope I don't get in trouble because of that, but it's the first time I said that here. So...
I mean, look, I don't know, but like, why would he get in trouble for that? I feel like plenty of people have been saying that. Tim Burchett said that recently. Danny Sheehan has said it. Tim Gallaudet has alluded to it. Like, lots of people have been pretty much on the understanding that they're like the ocean is where we should be looking.
But you're not the first who. You have Admiral Goudreau as well talking about these underwater UFOs or USOs.
And I could tell you the locations for the first time, if you want.
Please.
The north and south part of Puerto Rico.
North and south of Puerto Rico, underwater. One of the deepest parts of the Atlantic Oceans is there.
So, wait. Didn't he just say he was scared he was going to get in trouble for saying that they come from our oceans? And then he's going, I'll tell you where. Do you want to know where? And he gives him the exact location. Am I interpreting this wrong? He just said they're in our oceans. I don't know if I should have said that or I might get in trouble for that. I've never said that before. And then basically immediately followed it up with, do you want the exact location? I'll give it to you. Am I misreading that or because what?
And you've been there, right? Have you been to these spots?
I have been to these spots more towards the Bermuda part of the location where I have been.
No, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead because I wanted to get to that, but I just want to talk about it now. So you went to, can you describe what you saw? A massive underground facilities, underwater facilities, underwater bases?
Something like that, Clayton. Yeah. I saw these things that we call arcs.
Arcs.
Can
you describe to our audience what that it would be?
Massive ships, or huge, like 3 stadiums or even bigger types of ships, and it's ancient.
This is unbelievable to me. And we've heard about these arc ships. I've heard from different individuals that they've been here for what, millions of years?
Hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of years, yeah. And they're scattered around our Earth, these types of arcs, or Vimanas, or whatever other people want to call them.
And you've been there in a military capacity. So you were U.S. Army during this time. How were you transported there? How did those missions come to be? I guess you could. I need some coffee for this part.
Yeah,
let's take a sip of coffee because this is like
sure. It's gonna be a lot.
I hope those coffees are recreational. I know it's Christmas time, but I hope they are recreational coffees. Walken says, I have experience in the Special Operations Forces world. This guy is nothing, 0. He was basic support attached to a Special Forces group. These guys are bottom barrel. I helped, guys. I'm telling you, this guy is full of caca. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I'm pretty sure he does make that distinction, though, himself. He does say that he wasn't Special Forces. He was attached to them. So I don't think he's trying to hide that fact. But it's interesting. It's interesting to hear your opinion as someone who's been involved. Toxic Fart says, back in 91, an F-117 was parked in the hangar that I worked in. They roped it off and no one was allowed within 50 feet of it, and definitely no photo taking. He's full of crap about the pictures and his recruitment. There you go. Another insider calling bullshit. Thank you very much, Mr. Fart. And Roro says, happy holidays to all the weirdos, and I've gone from listening to sus. Interesting. We'll definitely do another poll at the end. We're almost about halfway through, and the claims get wilder. They do get wilder. Rusty says, yeah, nah, I'm not smelling what he trod on. Okay. A few people are definitely leaning into the realm of sus. And like I said, it gets wilder. And we're obviously starting to talk about now giant structures in the Atlantic Ocean, okay, which sounds a lot like the 4chan whistleblower and other things that we've heard about. And it just makes you wonder if either the 4chan whistleblower is another seed, if there has been seeds planted in all different places, podcasts, 4chan, military, Congress, everywhere, right? To slowly kind of grow and come to fruition around the same time. So if it is a psyop, it feels believable because you've had all these things from all these different places. They kind of come together conveniently at the same time. Or they're taking pieces of truth, i.e. that maybe some of the things that the 4chan whistleblower said, and spinning it into disinformation. Or it's all true. And we got disclosure from the Master Chief.
People are gonna
got our holiday mugs out here.
Start asking questions.
Yeah.
After this video.
Well, that's why we wanted to have you on, because we want to.
Well, the books have been out there for a while, so people do know about these, but now
to put a face with it.
Yeah.
Because every time you've been at a conference or you've spoken, you've used like, I think, voice modulation. You've worn masks.
Yeah, I wear the helmet.
You wear a helmet so people don't see
like
your face. Yeah.
A funny looking helmet.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, take the mask off, take the helmet off. So I took it off for the first time in Charlotte for the first time.
Yeah.
I took it off, and it was a big deal for me because after that, I had like dozens of cars parking
At your house?
my house. I had people following me all over the place, checking me out. And, I got a family, so I do have to protect my family.
Well, now millions of people are going to see this, so stop parking at JP's house. Like, the cat is out of the bag. Like, knock it off now. Enough already.
Well, I am protected,
Yeah.
My whole neighborhood is.
If he's saying this doesn't make sense, and I know a lot of you guys are already not believing him, so I don't want you to just jump on it and say it doesn't make sense just to prove yourselves right. I want you to actually think about this because I'm actually not sure, and I want your help. If he's saying before he got recruited into any of this, it started by people rocking up in cars and basically telling him to take photos of these spaceships or whatever. And then there became like a power struggle of people telling him, like, you shouldn't be doing this. And people were telling him, no, you should be doing this. There was this, like, these people were trying to stop him and people were trying to push him to do it. Now, we can only assume when he was walking around and meeting these people, bumping into these people, he wasn't wearing a Master Chief helmet, right? He wasn't wearing a Master Chief helmet. Maybe he walks around with it when he takes his kids to school, but I feel like he probably doesn't. That would mean that the powers that be already know what he looks like because they, one, approached him to put the story out and take photos of spaceships, or they approached him to say, you shouldn't be touching this. And those would be the people that you would be wearing a mask for. Those would be the people you want to hide your identity for. So if all of that is already happening and you're being pushed and pulled to do this and to not do this, what would be the benefit of coming out onto a public platform wearing a Master Chief helmet? Who are you actually hiding your identity from? If people already know who you are because they've been pushing and pulling you to do or to not do this, who is the anonymity for? Am I misreading this? Or have I just solved it? I don't know. I'm going to let that cook in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Joseph Hodges, thank you for the $2, bro.
Military.
Yeah.
So
don't mess with JP. All right. So I want to go back. I want to go. I want to go talk about the underwater piece of this, and then we got a lot to unpack here. But so, in a military capacity, how were you transported there? How did those missions come up? Like, you just wake up one morning and JP, we're going to go see a massive UFO that's hundreds of thousands of years old. So get your rain gear. Like, how does that unfold?
sometimes it's through the phone, or sometimes it's just straight up, hey, they want you in this area. I'm working in South Korea. Hey, they need you in this area. So I leave. I meet up. They make you change into black tacticals.
You're with other special forces at the time?
It's weird because it's civilian, special forces. You got Rangers. You got airborne troopers. You got Marine recons. You got, I don't know if they want to call themselves Delta Force. It's like a mixture of people with different talent. It's not just Army.
Yeah.
So most people say, oh, it's just one. No, it's all branches. And then you got international people from different countries involved.
Well, that's the real story here, too, is that we're all, we talk about these boogeymen like, oh, we have to hate Russia, we have to hate China, but we're all working together, right? We're all working together. Russians, we're all on the same page with this stuff, right? A lot of times.
Well, the thing is, we have to, Clayton, because these are things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
It connects to the, when you get to the quantum entanglement part of it, quantum physics, it connects to the spiritual consciousness, and these beings, they show up and they disappear. We can have one in this room right now. We won't realize it. It's It's spiritual, and the spiritual realm is real. I want people to understand that, and that's why I wanted to walk away so many times and not even talk about this. Even
We need a Clayton counter. That would be a fantastic addition to the stream. We should have done that. Just Joe, you little freak. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you.
talking about it, I get not scared, but I get the shivers, because imagine you knowing that there's something listening and knowing that everything that you do in every moment.
It's almost like consciousness.
Yeah. Like, it's like there's no way to hide. There's nowhere to go. They know every step, everything we say, everything that we do. It's like that type of.
And they're far more powerful than us, right?
Yes, that's the thing too. And you don't want to mess up. You don't want to mess up with them.
So you get called. There's Delta Force. There's all of these guys. You're wearing black tactical gear. What happens next? What type of a ship, boat do you get? Where were you? Were you at Eglin Air Force Base at the time? McGill, where were you when you get this call? And then you went to Puerto Rico?
Eglin. Well, in Puerto Rico, that's the locations of these things that we have.
Do you get on a ship, a battle cruiser, or anything like that?
Sometimes is Osprey, sometimes is Black Hawk, sometimes it's C-130, you know.
And then just describe to me, the layperson, coming into this. Are you landing on something, being transported there?
We're landing on a massive ship that I don't feel comfortable talking on your show. I'm sorry about that, Clayton.
So it's like a classified...
But I know it says it in the books. It says it in the books of Dr. Sala. It's a massive Navy type of ship that we have.
That we don't even know about, really? I mean, we know because of people like yourself, but other...
We probably know about it because of movies, yeah. But we do have...
My brain goes to like the Avengers movie and like some of the helicarriers.
Yeah. We got technology that can manipulate space and time.
So you're...
I mean, is he just like that's just what that White House brief statement that came out earlier in the year, we covered it on the channel. I mean, is he just reading from that? I don't know. Look, there are some nuggets in what he says that kind of like, I think, like, you know, I can believe that. But then there is just it just has this like undertone of like something just doesn't feel right about what you're saying. And I think it's in the way that it's the way that you're saying it. And I don't know what that is. And I also don't want to say that like my opinion is right either, because I don't know. I don't even know this guy, right? I can only give you my opinion, and you know, we're all welcome to have one, and yours might be different to mine. But yeah, so far, the sus meter is beginning to tick a little. But for me, honestly, I battle in my head of like, is this guy really on here looking Clayton in the eye and saying Clayton 400 times and just bullshitting him? Like, is he really sitting there, honest to God, looking Clayton in the eye and just talking out of his fucking ass and knowing that he's doing it? Because that takes some kind of man. Do you know what I mean? Like, that takes some kind of guy to just go on there, look him in the eye and just talk absolute shit. That takes some kind of special guy to do that. So I honestly think, if anything, this is like, this is some kind of like, I say MK Ultra, but I use that really as just some kind of like umbrella term to describe psychological manipulation, warfare, and brainwashing, or something like that. You know what I mean? I really do think that feels more likely to me than that this guy is just coming on here and just talking absolute trash knowingly. I find that hard to believe as well. But maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm just being naive. That's where I'm at so far, though. We're still got about we're only halfway through, and it gets wilder. Mark of the Beast with a big 50, my brother Mark. Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate you. And he's gifted 5 memberships too, my man. Let's get some love in the chat for Mark and the 5 new weirdos. Thank you very much, bro.
You're landing on one of these manipulating of space and time craft.
Well,
Whatever you can say.
It looks like a I don't know if you've seen the Star Wars, that donut shaped ship that they have in the Star Wars of series they have. I'm not familiar about. I'll text it to you.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, so we'll put it up here on the screen from Star Wars.
Well, they made a movie of him.
Andor, the Star Wars show Andor.
They have a similar ship that when I looked at it, I was like, oh crap. My heart sank, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh crap.
We have that type of ship.
Yeah, we have that stuff. We have that.
So it's floating, flying.
We have that. Okay. I mean, stuff like that, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if we did have wild technology that we don't talk about. Like stuff like that, I can get on board with. I actually can. Walken as well, sorry I missed this one, says, I have significant military experience with a higher clearance. Listening to this poor dude is too cringe. Great channel, Josh. Keep going. There you go. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. Smar says he shouldn't be nervous. Mars JP said he went off planet to Ganymede and even has special DNA that activates these ancient alien Noah arcs. Super sus. Interesting. And Box Cowfish says potential promotion for the Spielberg film. It is interesting, right? Age of Disclosure was strangely delayed for distributing issues because it's so hard to find someone. It's so hard to find someone to put out a movie, especially about one of the most talked about topics. And then after their long search, it took them 9 months to find Amazon. Look, I think Amazon, if you just probably looked for distributors in an alphabetical order, they would have been at the top. Very easy to find Amazon. Don't know why it took a year. That got delayed, comes out. Now you've got Age of Disclosure coming out. Sorry. Now you've got Disclosure Day coming out. Now you've got all these bold whistleblowers coming out of the woodwork who used to be anonymous and now they're not. And it just feels like everything's starting to ramp up a little bit. Feels like there's someone's putting the foot down on the PSYOP pedal.
It's floating.
Using anti-gravity technology?
No, not using anti-gravity. It's a regular ship.
But it's floating on the ocean.
It's floating on the oceans.
You land on it.
It has the capability, I think, with the hydraulics, it drinks, it takes in water and it turns to a sub, depending. And it lowers down just a little bit. It doesn't go all the way down. But
just enough to be hidden.
Yeah, just enough to be hidden.
And then you're in this ship as it lowers down. And then how do you find yourself near these giant arc ships?
So there's certain banks that are in higher altitude that is not as deep, that pressure-wise pressure will not harm you. So these ships are located in those locations that it's good enough for us to visit down. It has like a elevator with a different type of metal that it contracts and
like stuff that we're not used to.
Yeah, we're not used to seeing this technology.
So this is like alien technology?
I can say it's type of ET technology that we probably implemented in. No, but we're so smart, Clayton. We have stuff that is probably 400 or 500 years more advanced, and people don't know that.
Like the craft that anti-gravity technology, quantum technology, all of that, of course. Yeah.
I like to say we're the best country in the world. We have a lot of stuff that.
And that's why people, I think, when they think, oh, they're going to, you're going to mess with the United States, like the stuff that we have, that if push came to shove and we needed to use it, I mean, forget nuclear weapons. Those are like, I mean, that's like a joke at this point, right?
Yeah. Forget about, now we have to worry about certain things.
Yeah. So take me down in this craft. And let me not.
The longest time he's been without saying Clayton. He's definitely overdue for a Clayton. Duttons, you're now in charge of counting the Claytons from now until the end of the stream. Thank you, sir.
Interrupt you, but you can just take me. How do you get from the water to these things? Where are you? I want to be in your shoes and see what you're seeing down there.
So the first time we went down there, it was like a multinational kind of event. So I saw Chinese, I saw Russians, I saw other scientists, we even brought people from Mexico. These guys that look Indians, Mexicans, the Aztecs,
Yeah.
like they look Aztec
Like Mayan. Yeah.
looking. I'm
Yeah.
like, where the heck these guys come from?
Uh-huh.
You know,
He's gonna get himself cancelled before he finishes his whistleblowing.
how they got picked up,
Can't say that.
you know?
Wow.
And we went all down because it has things that are connected to Mexico and to South America and even India. Things are even connected to India, these crafts, and it has different departments of rooms. So each arc, it's like if you have a scientist in the Pacific, there's an arc in the Pacific as well.
Where?
South from Hawaii, near California, that area over there. Over there, also, there's
Massive arc.
massive arc and something massive that is alive. When I say mass, cities or something like that, people that live down there.
Humans?
It could be a
Yeah,
mixture of humans.
this is where it
and
starts getting wild.
Other things, yeah,
And these
working together.
working together.
Yeah,
These ETs or other
Nordics. They look like us. They could be walking among us.
but they're like tall, blonde hair.
Or they could be our height. We got certain programs that can change them to look like us.
And they're working with humans in these underground cities. We're talking
Yes,
like
sir.
these cities, like how big are they? Are we talking like the size of Philadelphia, New York?
No,
Smaller.
it's smaller, but it's multiple layers, so it's huge.
Do they have vehicles down there? How do they get around?
Don't know, Clayton.
Do they have to pick their kids up at dance class in the afternoon? Like, do
Maybe, but
I'm just trying to think of the the infrastructure, the food, like restaurants, like how are they living down there?
I think it's more like a base type of city.
So
it's people that
provisions
work there. I don't think there's kids down there, Clayton.
yeah, provisions are brought in.
Yeah.
They're operating and working. And did they come off regularly? Or like are they down there for a few months, a few weeks, and then they're
Basically the same
Off
thing
on.
that how they do in like the
military.
space station or similar like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And Eglin Air Force Base is the biggest Air Force base in the United States of America. And a lot of things are done from there.
so a lot of transporting is happening from Eglin to these different arcs.
And it's not just that base. It's a lot of base around the world.
Yeah.
That includes different governments. Reagan said one day, hey, if there's a massive force that comes, would every country unite and attack, or would we be still attacking each other,
Brought together.
He
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew, and he also had, before he became president of the United States, Reagan had things that happened to him in California as governor of California. So he knew, he was fully aware.
Someone called him a schizo pool boy. That's so rude, man. You didn't need to say that. He is making up for lost time on the Clayton counter, though. He is making up for lost time, which is good. I think we're up to 2 or 3 in the last couple of minutes. Phalo says they are rushing because the Zionist vampires are trying to create the end times, in my opinion. Yep, you could be right. I don't know how that one slipped past YouTube's detection system, but I'm here for it. Phalo. Appreciate you. The Jack Hamlet says later on, he says they put bits of disclosure in movies. I wouldn't be surprised if we're being manipulated here. Thinking of the Nathaniel Gillis theory. Interesting. Appreciate that one, Jack. Good point. Roger Rogue says, Josh, JP has been injured in the head from combat, etc. Look at the scars on his jaw and face, and he has severe head trauma. This is why JP is the way that he is. Roger Rogue ET. Interesting, mate. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to consider. I think it is very easy to like jump on people for the way they talk or the way they speak. Some people might be like a little bit slower than others or whatever, but it doesn't always necessarily mean that they are talking shit. But sometimes it does too. But it's definitely worth considering. Appreciate you, Roger. And Rain says, I'm lost on why him as far as the White Hats go before the start of his army career. Yeah, it's a good point, Rain. It's a good point. There is still still got quite a bit to go. So some of these questions we may actually get some answers to.
So you arrive at this base, you see these different departments in Puerto Rico, under the water near Puerto Rico. Were you just blown away about how massive this thing was?
I was blown away. The places where I went was more by Bermuda,
Okay.
off the shore of, you know,
So we talk about like the Bermuda
Daytona,
When we talk about off of Daytona?
a little bit more off from Daytona,
Wow.
like that same location. I don't want to give the
Yeah.
exact location, but somewhere around there.
And just to be clear, like these arcs aren't moving.
Well, they are moving now.
They are moving now.
Yeah, they're moving now. Now there's a massive arc in between Venezuela and Puerto Rico.
On purpose because of what's happening right now?
I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but I don't think that buildup is for a reason.
Oh my gosh. So we can, I know my conspiracy minded brain goes, oh, we're hearing that we have regime change operations happening in Venezuela, but really the reason we have 15,000 members of the military in that region has nothing to do with Maduro. It has other things to do.
Well, I don't want to speak above the commander in chief, whatever.
So you're telling me war might have an ulterior motive that is related to a higher non-human intelligence? Whoa, that's crazy. I would have never have thought about that.
He says goes.
Yeah.
You're telling me the most inhumane thing might actually stem from something that is in fact not human itself? Whoa, that's crazy.
Whatever he's saying is happening, and I believe is happening.
Yeah.
If that's happening with Venezuela, but there's other things that, because of national security, that's happening behind the scenes that a lot of people can't talk about.
The Orinoco belt of oil that sits off the coast of Venezuela. Okay. The Chinese are there.
Everybody's there.
Everybody's there.
The ETs are there.
The ark is there. One of these arcs is nearby.
Yeah. Where does this oil come from?
Where? Well, that's a great question. Where does this oil come from? Can you talk about that?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. All right. So the size of these arcs, like what do they look like?
I just want to say as well, I feel like he seems nervous. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to say he's telling the truth or he's not, but his body language does feel a bit like tense and nervous.
You said
It's ancient looking, Clayton.
but the technology is more advanced than
It's
anything
more advanced,
than
yeah.
anything we have, but it's hundreds of thousands of years old,
Yeah.
but it's more advanced than what we have now.
Yeah. Well, throughout history, you've seen the show Ancient Aliens. We have cultures that have built the pyramids. We have cultures that built these temples that are magnificent in India. That they're carved out from the stone with precise precisions. You got Machu Picchu, those precise cuts rocks that are up there in Machu Picchu. You got Stonehenge. I'm sure things in Portugal, like ancient ruins in Portugal that people don't know how.
Yeah, Giza.
Yeah.
And the list goes on, of course. So describe to me these arcs. I just wanted, can take me through how long you were down there, what were you doing, what were you seeing?
It's like an off and on type of memory type of thing. Clayton?
Do they wipe your memory when you come back?
So this is where I really start to think, yeah, this guy is like an MK Ultra victim. Again, MK Ultra is just an umbrella term for he's had his brain absolutely minced.
It's not that they wipe, it's certain techniques that they do that make you not remember.
You're
So-
not alone. I've heard this from other whistleblowers. I've heard this from other individuals who've been to these bases that their memories are scattered. But what do you remember?
I remember the smell. It smelled like when you go to a farm and you smell the hay.
Yeah.
When you first enter the ark, that's how it smells. But it's like an algae with.
Why is that smell so iconic, by the way? I feel like everyone just knows that smell. Like the smell of hay on a farm. It's just like, oh yeah, that's burnt into the brain, that one. Brad says, I've been absolutely cooked, Clayton. Rock Doc says, I'm a petroleum geologist, a master in geology. We get the oil from deep in the ground. It is not a mystery. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you, Rock Doc.
Vanilla mixed into it, and it's like a pleasant smell. So you feel like the ship is alive, that this ark is alive.
Wow.
You feel like a heartbeat, like a presence of. It's the most beautiful feeling that you ever feel.
Is it alive?
I think it's alive. I think all these ships that we encounter, the militaries around the world, not just the government of the United States, these ships are consciousness. They have consciousness. It's like a type of old school. I think this is so much, Clayton. Like if you get to the nitty gritty, like how we're getting this AI right now and where we're getting the ideas of the cell phone, where we got the idea of, so I think these technologies have a type of ancient AI.
Yeah.
That we piggyback off of it.
Well, we see major advancements in technology that seemingly come out of nowhere, like right after the Roswell crash. Suddenly we have incredible technologies.
Velcro.
yeah. We have all.
Hey, that's incredible shit, that Velcro. I don't reckon we ever would have figured that out if we didn't get a flying saucer crash here in the 40s. That Velcro stuff is just out of this world, I tell you. How would we have ever figured it out?
Things that we've never seen before within a short amount of time, computer, transformers, things like that, after sightings like this. So, okay, so you're down there. How long are you down there? Do you remember?
I don't remember the time. It fizzles in and out.
Do you remember what your mission was while you were there?
I was there to activate certain things.
Because you have the technology background.
Well, the ability of bringing these ships down.
Oh, to activate, to communicate with them.
Yeah, to communicate with whatever being is in charge of these. But now
Dan says that he has nuggets, but a lot of them aren't cooked. I think that is a fantastic way to explain this interview.
The Nordics are in charge of it. The ETs, yeah, the Nordic ETs are in charge of it. And I know people might hear this and they might think, certain things.
But by the way, this is now part of congressional testimony.
Yeah.
Nordics, multiple races. Like this is now on the congressional record from other individuals, from the military, whistleblowers. So you're not some crazy guy just saying this. Like you've seen them.
Yeah.
It is true what he's saying. Like this actually is on congressional record. The fact that there is a Nordic race that is here. That is literally what he's saying is true. So it's kind of like, okay, so is this taking that and manipulating it into disinformation? Or is this the outright truth? Or is the big thing about all these congressional hearings is that there is a faction that is operating beyond the oversight of the government and has been for a long, long time. Is it really, given what we know, especially about like this idea of like a global cult that is like trying to control the world, that probably doesn't necessarily align itself directly with any one country? I've spoken about how, some of these major intelligence agencies like CIA, Mossad, they may be like regional branches of one giant giga cult monster. Okay, I don't know what you would call it, but these agencies may just be like representing that country. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But they're actually part of a larger organization that is controlling the world. Now, that is extremely conspiratorial. I understand that. I may need a 20% discount at my local mental health facility, which you can get if you like the video right now. But what I'm trying to say is it that far-fetched that if there is something that has been operating beyond congressional oversight for so long, would they really give a fuck if people started coming out and like misleading and lying to the Congress and telling them about Nordics, telling them about all this bullshit that, now it's on the congressional record, it must be true. But wouldn't these people just do whatever it takes to just continue the existing hierarchy and power structure? That would include lying to people, Like, these people clearly don't give a shit about like the Constitution, about the law. They think they're above all of that. So why do we suddenly think, oh, well, it's on the congressional record, they must be telling the truth now? Like, no, probably not. They probably just don't give a fuck and are just telling you whatever you want to hear, so you shut up and they can just continue doing what they're doing. I feel like that's far more likely.
Other people have seen them. Other people have reported this. Not to give you cover for it, but all I'm saying is this is now part of the congressional record.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
You know, and the reason I'm here now is because of that whistleblower protection. You know, I'm allowed to say certain things. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know, but I got the green light to come here and talk about this, so I feel peace.
So now there are multiple arcs. We talked about the one in the Pacific near Hawaii, maybe off the coast of California, near Puerto Rico, near Bermuda. Now one near Venezuela. They're moving
South of India as well. There's a location there. It's like scattered around our oceans.
What about in the Arctic Circle?
We got something there, and we also got something in Antarctica. Antarctica is insane. The stuff we got. I know you had Brad Olson. I was with him the other day.
Okay.
In New York, and we were talking, and it's a lot of things that we have in Antarctica. That is.
Have you been there?
I have not quite been there.
Not quite been there.
Yeah.
That's like when my wife asks, "Did you take out the trash?" I haven't quite taken out the trash.
You took it out before, but
right, I didn't take it out this time. So,
What does that even mean? I haven't quite been there. I'm actually trying to think of a rational explanation of like what you could mean by that. Like, does he mean he was there in like his astral body? Like, bro, if you're gonna say that with such like vagueness or uncertainty, at least like clarify what you mean and why you sound like that. I think.
What can you talk about with Antarctica that you know for sure?
There's certain locations there that involve high technology, that radio frequency that can connect to space.
Now we've heard from Eric Hecker, who's a whistleblower as well. By the way, when he came forward and tried to speak to members of Congress, they essentially tried to ruin his life.
Yeah.
But he worked at what he called the Ice Cube neutrino detector at the South Pole Station. I would encourage our audience to go back and watch that full interview with Eric. He's been on a couple times, but he's laid out the technology there. He worked in that facility.
Oh, wow.
And saw...
Wait, is that the guy that wears a jacket that has Antarctica on it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, so he worked
He's
there.
the real deal.
Yeah, he worked at that station. But in talk...
I don't know if I'm overreading into this, but like, to going from like, oh, is that the guy that does this with the Antarctica jacket? And Clayton's like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, he's the real deal. Like, bro, you weren't even sure who it was 3 seconds ago. I don't know. Maybe I'm maybe becoming a little bit cynical here. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that one?
Talking about the communications technology that exists there, he talked about it as like a giant air traffic control center for off-world vehicles.
Yeah.
Interstellar vehicles. Is he correct?
Yeah. I think he's correct. It's not that also some plasmoid type of creatures that we're communicating with that live within our oceans. I don't know if I could say that, but
yeah, I think the plasmoids, that's another big piece of this. And so whether it's... Does our government have the ability to manipulate and work with these plasmoids for teleportation? You know, we see flight MH370, plasmoids zipping around flight MH370 and these plasmoids, because we talk about like nuclear weapons, right? Again, I talk about it's like this.
I can't talk about that, Clayton. Sorry.
Okay.
That's...
Every time he says Clayton, I want everyone in the chat to say Clayton. Kind of funny. It is kind of strange that, you know, can't talk about MH370 at all. Like that was a bit of a door slam on MH370. But we can talk about space arcs in the bottom of the ocean. Don't know. Seems a little bit strange. Toxic Fart says he's nervous because he's running out of ideas. Kelly Hall says need to drink every time he says Clayton. Yeah, or that. Maybe just say Clayton and also take a drink if you have one. And Itchy celebrating 4 months says, so Clayton has a good video game channel. Does he? I must have missed that one. But thank you very much. Appreciate the 4 months.
Classified.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's out there, you know, people talk about it, but just me. I know certain things that has been
reported,
like the Boogosphere, you know, everybody's talking about that. It's for.
Okay, so he's saying he can't talk about MX370 because he doesn't know about it. I don't know. The way he slammed the door on it, though, seemed a bit strange.
14,000 years old and people are still investigating it.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it the Boogosphere? Is it real? Or is it a hoax?
I can't talk about it. But there's different sizes. I can say that.
Okay.
And we found a way to connect with them and probably control them. Maybe that's what I could say.
Okay. Can you talk about some of the technologies that we've never seen before? Is there any the technologies that the U.S. military, the U.S. government is now using? Anti-gravity propulsion technology. So how much?
Dan says he literally brought up the sphere. We got the Boogosphere. Oh, yeah. What can you tell us about that? I can't talk about that. Okay. I'll go fuck myself. Thanks for bringing it up.
Of a relationship do we have in the United States government, the Chinese government, the Russian government, et cetera, with these Nordics, with these ancient technologies that we are now using? So I guess my question is, when people look up in the night sky and they're like, I saw a UFO, are they really seeing a UFO? Or are they seeing all of this advanced technology that we've borrowed from them, mostly flying in the skies?
It's a mixture. It's a mixture of collaboration. Like, you know about my experience in Alabama?
I don't.
Where I went inside a cavern and I saw...
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Nordics training different military pilots from around the world that I think are involved in the Artemis Accord.
So the Artemis Accords, you saw Nordic aliens.
What's he saying there? The Artemis Accord? What does anyone know what that is? I like when I hear Artemis, I think of like the moon mission, which would be a fantastic movie. I can't wait to watch that. What is Artemis Accord, or whatever he's saying?
Training other members of the U.S. military and other members of the military from what, Russia, China, other places?
Well, I didn't see Russia and China.
Okay, who did you see?
I saw other nations that are involved with the Artemis Accord.
Okay, sorry.
What is he saying?
And they were training in what capacity? Aircraft?
They look like flying saucers, Clayton.
When we talk about Alabama, what are we talking about? Are we talking about in what part of Alabama?
I never gave the location, but I think Dr. Salah, he probably...
It's from UFO law. It's supposed to be the agreement between the Allied powers working with aliens. Okay, thank you.
Knows the location.
Does it have anything to do with the moving of Space Force to that location?
That's something you have to ask the President of the United States.
Okay. Well, we know that there are...
Didn't Matthew Brown talk about Alabama, or the fact that like something about Space Force and, you know, why Alabama is significant? I remember something about that. Rock Doc says every time he says he can't talk about that, he then proceeds to spill the beans. Yeah. Worst secret keeper ever.
Massive. There's a massive...
I know that the United States have the best capability in the world. That's what I know. And I don't want to, you know, well, because of the connection that we have.
I think you had a lag spike.
I think we have the best.
I love the way Clayton's just holding the silence here. That's it. Let him cook. Let him cook. Give him time. Make him talk.
Because of the connections we have with the Nordics and others. Yeah.
And I'm sure other governments have their connections as well. And we probably don't know what they have. So we do have to be careful.
How many races of aliens, ETs, have you seen?
I seen Nordics. I seen these people that look like ants. Well, they call them ant people. They got big eyes. Like, I tell people, you can confuse these with gray aliens.
Okay.
Like, if you see the gray aliens, they have big eyes. Well, these guys that I see, they live under the ground, and they have like it's not antenna, it's like a hair looking, it's like a dread that comes out their head. And throughout history, you know, I don't know if you heard the Hopi
Indian?
the Hopi Indian stories about them connecting with the inner earth and inner
the inner earth.
the ant people and all that, and then they taught them. So we connected with these.
So the Hopi Indian working with these ant people. So you've seen, have you seen grays?
I seen.
I'm sorry to interrupt him here. But obviously, like, this is, again, I think potentially could be an example of tying real life mythology and like lore and turning it into like bringing it into ufology. Now, I'm not saying it's not true, because I do like to, you know, I like to listen to native cultures and their stories, and often maybe they're speaking like metaphorically, but there is generally like a lot of running themes between native cultures from all around the world who apparently had no contact with each other, telling similar stories through different lenses, right? And the ant people one is super interesting. There's that famous clip of the Brazilian tribes talking about the Mancanawabu, which is what they call like the ant people there. And what I find really interesting as well is the underground chambers in Derankuyu, right? Because they literally look like an ant, well, not an ant hill, an ant nest. They're like an ant nest, but for people. Like, there's nothing human about the design there. And like, they have all the perfect little things to like make sure that it works and that it's watertight. It literally looks like it was made with the architecture of an ant, but for people. Maybe it was by the ant people. I don't know. But the ant people stuff I do find really interesting. Do I feel like a lot of the things that this guy is saying is sus? Yes, I do.
Grays from a distance. That was a mission that I went to that was really weird as well. We went to this castle looking place, and this other people were giving us a lot of gold, plates of gold. And we were transferring these gold to different containers. And this was somewhere in the United States, but all I saw was like snow. But I don't know what location it was. I remember falling asleep on the craft that was on. And I woke up and we were in this location and we were just doing security. And because of my past experiences and past missions, they took me to this. And then from a distance, I saw one gray alien. Well, it looked like a gray. It had the big head. It had the black, small, like really small, big head. I don't know if it was a costume or whatever the heck it was. But it was talking to two like recon Marines far in the distance. And he was just pointing different ways.
Were they communicating with language or telepathy?
I don't know how they were communicating. I was too far away. Yeah. I don't know if it was a costume, Clayton, or something. Hopefully it was a costume. But it looked like a gray alien to me. It was short, big head, big eyes. And I think they were arguing or something like that. That's what it looked like. I don't think we have a connection with the Greys. I think they want a connection with us.
So when you look at these arcs under the water, I just wanted to go back to that a little bit. Are they treated as bases, right? Are they sort of self-contained bases? Would you describe them that way?
There's cities that are self-contained bases, but the arc, they can be movable. They have the capability of moving out the water and moving into the water and moving really extremely fast.
And so are there any?
It just reminds me of like, you know, Tim Gallaudet, again, testifying in front of Congress, saying that there were enormous objects or structures moving at like 200 knots under the water. Similar to the Abyss, the movie The Abyss is that giant structure that houses non-human life in the ocean. maybe these things just sound similar and we're actually connecting dots that don't connect. Maybe there's truth to it, or maybe again they're taking truth and making it sound silly. I don't know, but it is interesting.
Any eyewitness reports of them coming out of the water, as massive as they are? I mean, it would be.
I know people talk about things the size of football fields moving 200 miles per hour under the oceans. I know there's people talking about that.
Well, and it's not just people; it's admirals.
Yeah,
these are credible members of the U.S. military talking about that. Admirals mentioning the size of football field craft moving underneath the ocean, and other craft moving at speeds that we don't have. In our current 2025, 2026 life, we would not know any speeds that these craft could move.
Yeah, they go really fast underwater, Clayton. These UFOs, I think they have the capability of breaking matter in a certain way and using some Tesla technology. I don't know what the heck they use, Well,
yeah, let's talk more about the technology and the propulsion technology. Have you ever witnessed? I mean, you've seen them in motion.
Yeah, I've seen them in motion. You feel them. My first experience in Brazil, this is when I was a civilian, Clayton.
And this is what started it all.
This was started it all.
Okay.
I went to Brazil,
up.
Right? My wife invited me. I was preaching in all the churches. I was preaching in cathedrals in churches in Brazil, Christian.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what UFO was or ET was.
Yeah.
They always say demons because the farmers, they interact with these beings and they always say it's something spiritual. But when I went there, I went to this farm, no light pollution, beautiful place. We went to eat churrasco in Brazil. When you invite me out to eat, I'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
So the day prior, I was feeding the cows. They were showing me how they feed the cows. All this was because of the lifting up the bags of salt. Was bloody and all that. I was I was sore. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning with a humming noise. I walked out and I saw something that was glowing like a bluish white color in the distance. So I start walking towards it. I didn't have no shoes on. When I start walking towards it, it was probably a 6-minute walk. And it kept getting bigger. I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm talking to myself. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. So when I get close to it, I touch it. And I feel the hairs of my body that go up. And I feel like a metallic taste in my mouth. Like if I had pennies. I know you were small once.
I do find this interesting. There are parts of it that sound like absolute trash for sure. There are some parts that I'm like, I don't know, the way he's telling the story and then the things he's talking about, I do find it interesting for sure.
Pennies in your mouth.
Oh,
That's what you feel, or like blood or something like that.
Right.
I close my eyes. I open my eyes. I'm back in the farm. You can see my footsteps. Over there, the dirt is red. You can see my footsteps back. I'm like, what the heck happened to me? So I told my wife the next day, and they're like, something spiritual. Don't worry about it. I'm like, what the heck is happening to me? I'm like, I want to get out of Brazil. And this happens really close to Cardos Novas. Cardos Novas is a national park that not too long ago, Google, there's an ark there, and I can show you the location of this ark. Google recently posted the Ark of Brazil.
There's an ark, a giant alien
the
craft.
name they just posted, you can look it up. It's called the Ark of Brazil. It is a similar shape to Oleski Sands in Ukraine. The size of Oleski Sands. That there's probably an ark there as well. Well, I know.
Yeah.
There's probably an ark there.
Yeah. Underground.
Thousands of feet underground. Similar to what they're finding under the pyramids of Giza. All these things that they're finding under the pyramids, they're confirming with other companies that they found these things under Giza. But these arcs
I can't
are
see
under
it.
there as well. And then
I'm looking at that place on the map that he just spoke about, and I can't see Arc de Brazil, unless I'm just not All right, I should probably show you guys, so you're just not looking at me. Give me a second here. We can take a quick look at this. We can take a quick little detour. Actually, let's jump over here. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. Okay, hold up. Sorry, this is actually taking a bit longer than I thought. Here it is. Here it is. Relax. Everyone relax. I can't see anywhere. Why is it not showing the full thing? This is where he was just looking at. Oh my gosh. All right, look, that'll do for now. That's fine. This is like that giant area. What? Sorry, the screen is scuffed. I don't know why it's doing this. When I put my mouse over there, it's going really big. It's quite frustrating, actually. Yeah. It's not there. I'll try and bring it in so you guys can see. You may need to zoom in before it registers. He was like this close or less, and it was like somewhere here. I mean, he was like not even half as this close, and it's not there. If anyone else can find it, let me know. Put a picture, but I can't see it. I just searched Caldus Novus, and that's how I found this quite easily. So I don't know what's going on there.
JP, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, not the beginning. All right, hold up. We were somewhere about here.
You can look it up.
I did.
It's called the Arc of Brazil. It is a similar shape to Oleski Sands in Ukraine. The size of Oleski Sands. That there's probably an arc there as well. Well, I know.
Yeah.
There's probably an arc there.
Yeah.
People are saying search for what was listed. Guys, come on. I know some of you think I'm retarded, okay? And you might be right. But please, if you don't think I tried to search for the actual name first and it didn't come up, and that is why I had to search for the area, please.
Underground. Thousands of feet underground. Similar to what they're finding under the pyramids of Giza. All these things that they're finding under the pyramids, they're confirming with other companies that they found these things under Giza. But these arcs, they're under there as well. And then you got scattered, like in South Korea, China, Russia, Japan, scattered. You got these small ships that the Indians, they used to call Vimanas.
Have a good day, Maggie.
That they look like massive spacecrafts. But sometimes there's temples on top of them, or the governments, they know about it. They don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it could change. This is the thing. This can change religion if we talk about what's happening.
Right.
It could change a lot about Catholics, Christians.
Well, I know the Catholic Church has tried to come out and try to get ahead of this.
Muslims,
a few years ago.
yeah.
They've tried to start talking about this because I think it could undermine a lot of these religions, right? And so they're trying to get out in front of it now and trying to admit, I mean, what does the Vatican have in their archives? You know,
We
got 6 minutes left.
We got an American
Pope
now, so
maybe we'll get some answers about what's hidden in the Vatican.
we could probably go to Rome and interview him if you want.
I would like to. Yes, I would like to. I'd like to. That would be
Everything
my
happens
first
for a
question.
reason, Clayton. That's what I know. Everything happens for a reason.
The reason the Pope is there now as an American, it's not just by chance.
Disclosure's around the corner. Look at Steven Spielberg. He's about to, June? He's going to drop a new film saying that about disclosure. So I think 2026 is the year, Clayton.
I sure hope so. I heard there's so many people that we say this and then we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You know, we have
Clayton. We got another Clayton on the Clayton counter. Again, pro age of disclosure, day of disclosure, 2026. I don't know, bro.
Like I said before, there's always two factions.
Yeah.
One don't want it to happen because they want to be safe.
Yeah.
And the other one, they just want it to happen because we need to know.
Yeah. Well, you have somebody like I mentioned, like Eric Hecker, who came forward, actually connected with Congressman Nancy Mace's office. And she said, I want to speak to whistleblowers. I want to speak to individuals. I thought I'd be protected. So he reaches out. And then within days of reaching out to her office, he loses his job.
Yeah.
That's how this stuff happens.
Wow.
So you've got these
I didn't
like
know
dark
that.
forces. You have people that say they want to protect whistleblowers. They say they want to help and move towards disclosure, but then they're secretly shaking another hand over here. Whether it's so, maybe you can talk about some of the.
Damn, I did not know that Eric Hecker reached out to testify and then just got rinsed like that. It makes sense why Michael Herrera came out and said it's basically like it's not safe. Like he doesn't want whistleblowers to go forward and speak because it's not safe, and that the Congress has already been given more than enough information to do something, and they're not. So like, what's the point? And I will just say, and I've always said this, Michael Herrera, like if we were to compare the way Michael Herrera delivers his testimony and the story that he tells versus this guy's story, they just feel absolutely worlds apart. And it's hard to say exactly what it is. It's probably got something to do with like tone, delivery, the actual content itself, body language, like a whole bunch of things. But they are absolutely galaxies apart from each other. I've always said Michael Herrera is probably the most like impactful and the testimony that feels truthful, 100%.
Dark forces, the people that don't want disclosure. Is it the military-industrial complex that doesn't want it because
I don't think it's.
make
I
so
don't
much
think
money?
a lot of people think it's the military. I don't think it's the military.
I don't mean military. I mean like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, the military-industrial complex.
I don't think it's them either.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's probably connected, but I think there's how can I say, contracts that can't be broken that a long time ago was put in place. And because of these contracts, a lot of people can break contracts. You know how contracts work.
Right.
If you break it, something else happens. But the military, I don't think they're the bad guys for me.
Yeah.
Some people might say, yes, oh, the military treated me bad. The military did this. If you're signed.
Come on, bro. He's pro age of disclosure, pro everything, and he's on here telling us the military are the bad guys and that we have space arcs in the bottom of the ocean.
To be part of the military, you are told what to do. That's the mentality I came in the military.
Well, we've seen from other military whistleblowers who've said the same thing as you, U.S. Marines and so forth, who, when they were on certain off-the-books missions, they came across other human individuals who were the bad guys and who were using some of these craft for nefarious purposes, some of this technology. Mm-hmm. The U.S. military's guys were the white hats. These other individuals were not.
I encountered certain situations, gunpoint.
At gunpoint.
The dog sus meme is feeling appropriate. That's literally what I was trying to do, Heidi. That's my attempt anyway. Radon Ramirez says this guy is just talking about shit he read on Reddit. Makes no sense an Army Special Forces team takes an E4 water purification guy on a super classified operation that would be done by the Navy. This is total bullshit. Thank you very much, Raymond. I think a lot of people would agree with you. Perfectly Imperfect, thank you for the sticker. Jeremy Swanson, you legend, and Rogue ET, thank you very much. Rain also says, OMFG, he can't talk about anything he hasn't prepared or researched for this hoax of an interview. It is so obvious. Clayton, thank you very much, bro. Clayton, thank you, Clayton.
They could throw me off. They say, don't talk about this. Certain things I still don't talk about because of those situations.
So you, as a U.S. military, came head to head with these other
people.
These other people.
don't talk about it.
And this were in the field? Like this was
In the field.
in the field.
But I don't think they're connected to the military. I think it's something else. It's not the military. It can't be the military. It can't be the people I serve with. It doesn't cross my mind, because when you go into the military, you come in with a beautiful heart to serve and all that. If it is the military, I don't know what to say. But I don't think, for me, I think it's a different part.
Yeah.
It's connected in some ways.
Right. Dark forces, though. I U.S. Marines who've witnessed these UFO craft being used.
And they're evil. They could be evil, so evil.
Yeah.
They'll kick you in the face.
Well, they threw. I
got kicked in the face.
You got kicked in the face.
I got kicked in the face.
For what? Just for looking?
Just for looking.
Where? And can you say maybe where this was or what you were looking at?
No.
What?
Sorry.
No, I understand.
Got kicked in the face. Was he hanging out with like Anderson Silva? I'm sure a punch would suffice. Since when is fucking Bruce Lee enlisted in the U.S. Army? Who's throwing head kicks around for looking at things?
Got to protect. I mean, I don't want. I don't want anything to. I can just tell this other story, not your story, but a U.S. Marine. We've covered it on the show before.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing that, like a bunch of military guys, and like someone tells the other one off by just snap kicking them in the head. Like that's just so out of this world.
I think it was in Indonesia after the tsunami. Mm-hmm. And often, as our audience knows, after major natural disasters, mm-hmm. there are people that come in for the selling of human beings, trafficking of human bodies, all of that. Are there other reasons why they come in?
I don't think you're prepared for that question.
There's other reasons. Certain things are unveiled because of the tsunami. Are brought up.
Unearthed?
Unearthed, yeah.
And then need to be covered back up again?
Maybe.
Or taken? So these individuals...
I don't know nothing about the human.
Yeah. Well, these human beings face to face with a Marine Corps unit.
The poll is up.
Threatened to kill them all for what they were seeing happening. And it was only by the grace of God that they weren't killed.
No.
But they were transporting human bodies in some sort of crates and then using advanced propulsion technologies to fly off. And these U.S. Marines were threatened at gunpoint and nearly killed.
Wow.
So, again, we've covered that on the show, but I just wanted to say that's not your story, that's somebody else's story, but it sounds similar to
they can be aggressive. The bad guys can be aggressive. They're more cocky. They're more, we don't give a F who you are.
Because they don't follow any laws at all.
Like, we don't.
Yeah.
I think they're like, I don't know. I don't think they have a heart by the way they act.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, you know what it is? They've seen so many things. That's what I think it is.
That is the end. And by the way, that's part one. There's a whole other part two that goes for about another 45 minutes. I'm not sure if we'll watch that. Maybe if I get like a lot of people saying they want to watch it, we can talk about it. But I will say, we've got 192 votes in, by the way, on the poll. If you guys want to get your thoughts in before we wrap that up. My thoughts are, look, I think there was like maybe 5 or 10%, let's say 10% throughout that whole interview that for me, I was like, okay, that's interesting. That, that kind of like resonates in some way. But for the most part, it just felt too sort of like uncohesive and not very thorough, not very clear and wild. Like it's okay to be like a little bit unclear, but it's talking about things that are a bit more sort of based in reality, at least what we all agree is reality. But when you add in like the wild with like being uncohesive and not being very articulate and sort of inconsistencies and it just makes it makes it a lot harder. For me, I don't want to sit here though and say he's a complete bullshit artist. right? Because I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't know. And I'm a big proponent for the fact that reality is far stranger than we are allowed to know. I really do believe that. How far that goes, I have no idea. But what I will say is that it feels like to me that there is some kind of like brainwashing going on. Actually, brainwashing isn't really a nice word. I think like mental manipulation probably explains what I think is going on here a little bit better. And it might have even started, like he said, like with that first sort of encounter that he had in like Portugal, where he touched the thing and he got this like metallic taste in his mouth. In Brazil. Maybe that started something that led to him being intercepted and taking his life down this road where they basically just like used him and manipulated his mind. And now he's just got this like version of reality that he can recall that is only like 10, 15% actually based in the reality that we all share. The rest of it could just be in his head for what reason, I don't know. But it's a wild one. It is a wild one. You guys seem to have changed your minds quite a bit. I think we had 45% of the people saying they still weren't sure. 44% of the people were saying sus. And about 12% were saying truth. We're now on 73% feeling like he's sus. 20% are still not sure. And 7% think it's truth. Dr. Sellers written books off of what he said. He has, and he's been on Dr. Sellers' channel a lot. We looked at that at the start of the stream as well. And look, to me, it also feels just really interesting, like the timing of it. The timing of him coming out and doing this is, I actually think it's kind of interesting with Jeremy Weeks, like also was a whistleblower who had been in the fringes anonymously for quite some time, and then suddenly comes out with his name, goes on bigger platforms, is also bold, which is the biggest conspiracy with all of these UFO whistleblowers. You've got the age of disclosure, which was like strangely delayed right up until now at the end of the year. You've got now Steven Spielberg's Day of Disclosure movie that's just been announced. We had that thing come out from the White House that was saying we can manipulate space and time, and now a top plasma fusion professor, like the top one in the world, essentially just gets murdered, and then within 24 hours, Trump signs a deal with some kind of with TAE, Tri-Alpha Energies, which are like a nuclear fusion company. Like there's just so many things going on that, again, maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist nut job, but it does seem like there is some kind of weird connection to it all, and that there is some plan to bring things to the surface in some way. Whether and that might happen, and it still may not even be the actual truth. Like it might be a manipulated version of truth that has been created for the people to digest and accept, while still, again, what is actually going on in the background is a far different version of events. And to be honest, that's probably the most likely. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get like full disclosure and totally understand everything about the way the world works, because I feel like if we did, we probably wouldn't be too happy about it, personally. Roy G. Biv, celebrating 3 months, says this comes across as an in-public job interview or first assignment test for intel agencies to assess his bullshitting skills. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure. Could be, and it could be, but who knows? Who knows, man? I appreciate it, though. Good assessment. Mark of the Beast has gifted another 5 memberships. Mark, you are the absolute GOAT, sir. Thank you very much for all of your support. Some love in the chat for Mark and for the 5 new weirdos. Guys, if you have just become a member on this stream, you get access to members-only streams and videos. We're probably due a members-only stream soon, actually. Maybe tonight. Well, it depends. I was going to go out and play some pool later, so if I get home in a reasonable time, we could do that. We're also finishing off our Harry Potter marathon before Christmas over in Discord, so we've got a few Harry Potter movies to watch as well. The link for that is below. There's a members section there too, which is a great place to hang out. We've also got 20% off the merch store at the moment. Merry Christmas. Use the code WeirdoXmas at the checkout. Go and get yourself some merch. Let people know that they should be touching grass. And Yvonne Pandora, thank you very much for the $10. You are a sweetheart. And Snail Burner, thank you as well. Guys, that is it for the day. I love the super strange Sundays hanging out with you guys. They're always a good time. Be good to each other. Merry Christmas. Keep being kind. We might be back tomorrow with another show. We'll probably have a Christmas show Christmas Eve as well. But other than that, guys, take care of each other. Enjoy your holidays. And remember, touch some grass, Clayton.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.